Cage podcast featuring AJ and the Savages. Today we're talking about UFC 249. What's up, guys? How you guys doing?
Yo,
Pretty good,
yo.
bro. What about
Doing
you?
great, doing great.
Doing fantastic, man. Really looking forward to these fights. About to be sick. We're gonna see some scraps.
We're gonna see some good fights tonight. I think after a long time of not having any fights, the UFC fan base is really waiting for this. They've been waiting for a good brawl, and looking at the card, I think we got a lot of good fights coming along.
Oh, it's stacked, dude. Absolutely stacked. Avery, got them?
Yeah, to be honest, since this is the only sporting event going on right now, we're gonna get a lot of new UFC viewers. So they'll be like, man, I've never seen UFC. I've always seen it on ESPN doing the prelims, but since I got nothing else to watch, they'll be like, man, I might as well stick around and watch some good UFC. And the card is so good. That's why I was like, man, Dana White did a great job putting this freaking
Came through.
card together, prelims and main event. Because it's like if nobody wants to pay money for pay-per-view, they'll still see some phenomenal fights. Like the main fight for the prelims is Pettis versus Cerrone. Like those are two vets within the UFC.
You literally have a card that pretty much every fight on the whole card deserves to be on the main card, and multiple fights could be a co-main event.
Dana White, man, he really pulled it through, man. We weren't going to get nothing. We had no basketball. Baseball wasn't even going to start. We didn't even know about football at the time. Luckily, we got the draft recently, but I'm just happy you got a couple got a couple cards coming out, man.
Especially
That Tony Ferguson card.
That,
Crazy.
dude, I'm
Especially
gonna be
since
honest.
Dana didn't stay down. He already had an
Dana
event
White.
that he wanted to schedule on his own private island, and it ended up getting shut down by Disney. So the
Yeah.
fact that he stayed behind the fights, and wanted to still put on a show for us, I respect that. It's
He chose the best
Hell
state. He
yeah.
chose Florida, bro. Our state.
Florida, baby.
We're all
Let's
from
go.
Florida. Represent. He chose the best
Jacksonville.
state. At the end of the day, it's gonna be in Jacksonville. There's no fans there, so at the end of the day, it's gonna be interesting. That's something that
Yeah,
like
it's gonna
I
be
haven't
different.
even thought about. How crazy is that gonna be? Not even one fan. Like, who's
Yeah.
gonna be? Are you gonna hear cheering? Or like, is there gonna be like how many coaches? Like, I think is there gonna be one coach? Like, I don't know exactly what they have right now.
Fight than normal, and
What'd
I
you
wonder
say?
if that's gonna get into the fighter's psyche. Having that quieter fight, just
Oh,
no crowd, no energy to feed off of. I wonder how that's gonna move on to the later rounds into a fight.
Now
so
the thing
odd,
is,
man.
it's like, you know how when fighters get on the ground and then you see those casual UFC fans, they're like, man, it's a grappling match. I don't know. They don't know what's going on, but they'll start booing because it's not a bunch of like, they're not striking. There's no crazy, no one's getting pounded. But most of the time, I feel like the fighters, they don't care because it's like, well, if I don't defend this, I'm going to get choked out and like go to the hospital. So I'm sure they don't care about the booing, even though the vibe will be so thrown off. Because when we watched the last UFC in Brazil, and I was watching Kevin Lee versus Oliveira, I'm like, dude, I could just hear both both sides coaches yelling for their fighters, but it's just like, oh
Weird.
man, it's
You're
just
gonna,
awkward.
you know what's
It's
crazy?
super
You're
awkward.
gonna hear the instruction. You're gonna hear exactly what the coach is saying
Yeah.
to each fighter. So if I'm
That's
fighting
true.
you, I'm gonna be hearing what your coach is yelling. So it's almost like more like a gym sparring. Well, it's not like sparring because the intensity is gonna be real, but like it's almost that sparring vibe. Like it's gonna be different. But
So
I
weird.
feel like it's gonna be more pure in some way because the fans influence not only the fighters but the judges. If they're a shot, even if the shot only grazed, maybe that they hear it, they think, oh man, that must have been a big punch. So they get in their mind that, oh, let's say Kevin Lee hit Oliveira with a big shot. If there's fans there, they go nuts. But let's say there's not, it's silent and he really missed that shot. Then they can just see from their own objective view instead of having the bias the crowd or the referee. A lot of fights, bro, if you see, like, they'll be booing and the ref then would jump in and stand it up prematurely because he's feeling pressured from the crowd. We don't have that. It's like truly complete martial arts at this point.
Yeah, the decision making on the referees end will be a lot more pristine because, like you said, the influence from the crowd won't be a factor anymore. It's just strictly what the ref sees and what they hear. So it'll be a lot better that way.
To me, I feel like it's gonna be so cool. Like I'm really excited to see it. Like I watched a bit of the one in Brazil, but this is like an actual title fight, like multiples.
Multiple times.
Title fights, big, huge fights. Like all these fights on this card, on the at least the main card, are like very close, like to title shot guys. Like, and now you got the prelim. You have guys on the prelims. I'm gonna be honest with you, man. every fight on that prelim could be on a main card, and I've seen a lot worse like matchups on main cards, and they're on a prelim. They're like the first fight of the night. You got former champions on the prelims, dude. It's crazy. Let's get into the card of it, man. I'm gonna pull it up. Let's talk about it. The first fight of the night: Smiling Sam Alvey versus Ryan Spann. Ryan Spann, I'm actually a fan of, dude. I started following him a bit outside of the UFC. He's, had some ups and downs outside of the UFC, but he's really got it together. His knockout of Rogerio Nogueira, that's Minotauro Nogueira's younger brother, it was spectacular. This guy's a former elite level fighter in Pride, and he got knocked out like that. So I think this kid's real. Sam Alvey's tough, but I don't know. Personally, I feel like this is actually a mismatch, and I think Ryan Spann's gonna really gonna get him, man.
Yeah, I agree. Like,
I
Alvey,
think they're gonna match up in this.
go ahead, dude.
How do you think their fighting style is going to match up? Because from the records, I see that like Sam Alvey has been more experienced. He looks like he's had way more fights in the ring. So do you think that experience is going to give him any sort of advantage, something that he can use to help him in this matchup?
The thing is this, man. I think Ryan Spann is more athletic, a lot taller and longer. And he's got, like, from what I've seen, is he's got something like that's pushing him. Whereas Sam Alvey is like, he's a good fighter, but he's not at that same level. I feel like Ryan Spann wants to be an elite fighter and has the mindset that he's gonna be. Where Sam Alvey is like, he's a good fighter and all, but he's happy just fighting and making some money, like, and doing well. And I'm not trying to shit on him. I like him. He seems like a nice guy, but at the end of the day, stylistically too, I just feel like he's gonna get messed up, man. Like, this is just not a fight in his favor. He's a former middleweight versus a guy that's 6'5" with it was an 81.5-inch reach, dude. Like, he's long.
Long and athletic is not a good combo for your opponent.
It's not. My prediction, I'm gonna say Ryan Spann gets him out of there. I think in the first round. I'm gonna be 100% honest. It could go later. I mean, of course, but I'm thinking it's a first round knockout for Ryan Spann.
I agree. Well, I'd say at the worst, it's like second round, but I could definitely see it's gonna be a knockout by Spann.
It's gonna be sad for Sam Alvey because he's a family guy, but they gave him a bad match. It's not a matchup that is looking too bright for him.
And Spann is coming off a 6-win fight streak, so he's got a lot of momentum built up behind him too. So
isn't he undefeated in the UFC?
Get through, give that Superman name one last hurrah before he goes off into the next fights. But I think he has a good chance. Hearing about his athleticism and his younger, like, more youthful drive, that goes a long way when you're going against a fighter that's gone through
the back end. I feel like Sam Alvey is on the back end of his career. At the end of the day, he's on the back end, whereas I feel like Ryan Spann is just new to the UFC. He had a lot of fights elsewhere, but he's fresh in the UFC, and he has that momentum behind him, and I believe it'll carry him through to victory. And I could see Ryan Spann becoming a contender. I really do.
I agree.
All right, let's get to the next fight on this card, man. So now,
next
Bryce Mitchell.
Yeah,
you can say what you want. Yes. All right. Bryce Mitchell was on The Ultimate Fighter. I believe he was Ultimate Fighter 27. He was a semifinalist, and he's a scrappy kid. He can fight. He's undefeated. He only lost on The Ultimate Fighter. So to me, that's quite impressive, man. His only loss is on The Ultimate Fighter. I believe his loss was to the eventual winner of the show, which was Brad Katona, who now got cut from the UFC. It's crazy to see that. The guy that didn't win the show is still undefeated by record and is still in the UFC. I've seen it before, too. Guys that don't win the Ultimate Fighter sometimes have better careers than the guys that win it.
It's like finding a fourth rounder in, like, in the NFL draft. Like, you don't expect them to do too much, but then, some of them are coming up multi-time Pro Bowlers, It's kind of like the same thing, man. It's coming out of nowhere.
Exactly, bro. It's also the fact that when you win the Ultimate Fighter, there's pressure that comes with that, without a doubt. Because now it's like, oh shit, I won the Ultimate Fighter. I have to carry it through. And we've seen guys win the Ultimate Fighter and then go on to get just whitewashed in the UFC and gone. That's it, done. So the Ultimate Fighter is such a cool concept. But maybe he didn't perform at his best on the Ultimate Fighter. Maybe he really was the best fighter there, but he didn't have his coaches and he didn't have his team. He had different training partners. Like, the Ultimate Fighter brings a lot of factors that can change the result. That's the biggest thing.
Yeah.
I feel like since he didn't win, it's like, well, I have something to prove to the UFC and the rest of the world. So I feel like his work ethic really amped up after he lost. And then the other guy that won, he's like, I'm on top of my game. I'm going to just keep doing what I'm doing. And maybe he, of course, wanted to get better, but not as bad as much Mitchell did. So that really probably reversed on him.
Exactly. And Tier, can you pull up Charles Rosa for me real quick? I want to see what he's at, his record. I don't remember his last fight off the top of my head, to be honest.
His record at the moment is 11-3.
A solid record. His last fight, what was the result?
Bryce, on the other hand, is 12-1.
And that's 12-1,
So
including the loss.
Yeah, it speaks a lot, limiting all those losses. And so I had a question for you guys. So if you know anything about their fighting styles and their past fights, you've noticed that both of them have had submissions and decisions as the ends of their recent fights. So who do you think is going to end up having the edge in the ground game and or the long span decision type route? Who do you think is going to end up taking advantage in those situations?
Personally, I do believe that Bryce Mitchell is going to win this fight. I think it's a bit of a good matchup. Like, I think I'm not saying they're giving Bryce Mitchell a push. I mean, Charles Rose is legit, but I believe he's supposed to win this fight.
Yeah.
I'm going to pick Bryce Mitchell. He's undefeated. He's on a good streak. He's looked good, man. He's solid. He had this crazy injury where he stapled his nutsack to his leg, like the craziest thing, dude. Yeah, it was crazy.
Wait, how do you do that? What sort of accident is that? Do you know the story behind this?
I'm gonna be honest, off the top of my head, I don't remember exactly, but it was nuts. He had to get surgery or something for that.
That's ridiculous.
Thankfully, I think he still has him. So.
That's wild. But yeah, I agree with you, AJ. Mitchell is the superior. He's a jiu-jitsu grappler, so he's gonna most definitely try to take this fight to the ground, and his jiu-jitsu is phenomenal. He finished I forget who he fought. His last fight, he finished with a twister, which is actually kind of cool. But
that was him. Yes, that was him. Cheer, do you mind pulling up who he fought?
Referring to the one versus Sales. It was a submission by round 1 for 20.
He beat Matt Sales.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
Bro, Matt Sales, I watched Matt Sales too, the guy that he beat, and that guy's legit. So Bryce Mitchell's no slouch. I'm gonna pick Bryce Mitchell for sure. I'm thinking that he pulls it off. I don't know what round. I'm not gonna give you an exact prediction on that, but I am picking Bryce.
Same here.
Yeah, I'm definitely catching what you're saying, bro. But
just I feel like Charles Rosa could come and surprise you. Well, I have nothing to really base this on, but I'm gonna just vote for the underdog in this matchup because I feel like seeing their records and seeing how they've competed in the past, I feel like they could have a very even matchup. Things could go 50-50 either way in this. Mm-hmm. And all this hype behind Bryce, if his coaches are telling him the same thing, I worry that it goes to his head. And he ends up slacking, all the dynamics different in the matchup, and something just changes to the point where Rosa ends up getting some sort of advantage if he's feeling like an underdog. You're the underdog supporter. Avery, you have anything to add to that before I move on? In my opinion, the only possible way Rosa would win is that he has better cardio than Mitchell. Yeah. But if it gets to round 3, he might be able to pull it off in a decision, but I can't see that. When Mitchell gets into the ground, he's just gonna keep him there. Rosa has he has a karate background, so he has pretty good striking, but it's Mitchell is grappling specialist. He's on another level. He's on another level. That's it. If you fight a specialist in any aspect of fighting, you're gonna have a problem if you're not a specialist in that. So or at least if your defense isn't. Yeah. But let's move on to the next fight. Vicente Luque, Nico Price. Two guys that are, pretty solid in their division in welterweight. Nico Price, I've seen fight a few times. He's pulled off some good wins. He beat Randy Brown pretty impressively. Vicente Luque, though, he beat Mike Perry in a good scrap. But then he fought Stephen Wonderboy Thompson, who's a high-level contender, and he got dominated bad. He got beat up bad. It was a bad fight for him. But at the end of the day, Wonderboy's a monster. It was a bad beating. And I believe this is his first fight back since then. So how does that mess with him, How do you come back from fighting, okay, I'm fighting an elite guy and getting destroyed? So then it must make you think, shit, am I not that good? Am I not that level? Am I just a mid-level guy? And then they're giving him another mid-level guy to see. So
He really needs to turn it up. I'm gonna pick Luque on this fight. I don't have too much to say about either guys. Just a simple prediction, man. I gotta say, I'm going with Luque. I watched him on The Ultimate Fighter back in the day, and I thought he was a pretty good scrapper, man. He can fight. He's got skills. I believe that he was on the same season of The Ultimate Fighter as Kamaru Usman, bro.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So it's
Oh,
pretty
really?
intense.
That's sick.
Same season. He did. It was a weird season because it was like two gyms fighting each other. But he did well on the show. I think he lost one fight on the show to the eventual finalist that lost to Usman. But then he beat that guy in a rematch. So pretty impressive.
AJ, was the Thompson v. Lucas fight or Luca fight, was that a title shot? Or
No,
was
no, no.
it just
No.
okay, it was just
No,
fight?
Wonder Boy's never been champion. He's never been
Okay.
champion. He's
He
just a top level guy.
Yeah, he fought for title but lost to Woodley.
Okay.
It was a tune up fight for Thompson, and that's what happened. No disrespect to Luque because he can scrap, but there's levels, man. There's levels. Now
Like-
the next fight, we're gonna jump to it, man. I need to talk about it. We're still on the prelims, man. I don't know how we're still on the. It's crazy.
Let's get to
Uriah
it.
Hall versus Jacare Souza is on the prelims, dude. Like that's such a huge fight. Jacare Souza
Yeah.
at one point was the guy at middleweight. Like he's one of the best non-UFC champions I've ever seen. Like the guy's grappling is off the charts, and he's got hands. He knocked out Chris Weidman.
Really?
That's sick, bro. That dude's a monster.
And Uriah Hall, let's not sleep on Uriah Hall. He is a freak fighter. When you see him on his game, oh my God, insane. He was on The Ultimate Fighter, and he knocked this guy out. The exact name, I can't remember the guy, man. I think it was Brian something. It's not coming to me, but it was a spinning back kick. Oh my gosh, the most devastating knockout probably in tough history. Dude, stiff. Like people were worried, man. Like he went over and apologized to the guy that he just knocked out because like it was that brutal.
That's
It was
funny.
one of the sickest knockouts of all time.
That's sick.
It was intense. And he's fighting Jacare. The thing is, this is your classic striker versus grappler matchup. That's what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, Hall's a striker, right?
He's a
No,
I'm not
he's
saying
a
pure-
grappler.
Hall is a striker. Jacare is the grappler.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, okay, yeah, okay.
Jacare has 14 wins by submission and then 8 by knockout. So his hands are nothing to scoff at.
Exactly. And that's the thing. This guy has
Really?
fought all the best guys. Went the distance with Yoel Romero in a close fight. He did end up getting stopped against Kelvin Gastelum, I believe. But Gastelum, man, he's a pretty savage guy. Robert Whitaker and him fought, I believe. I hope I'm not mistaken on that, but I believe they did.
Man,
He lost
this
that
guy's
fight.
a savage, man.
You mind pulling
Yeah.
up Jacare, his last 3 fights? I'm curious what his last 3 fights
Yeah,
were.
man.
Didn't he
Yeah.
lose his last 2 fights?
I
He
believe.
went against Blachowicz.
At light heavyweight, he jumped up and he fought.
Oh.
Dude, he went 5 rounds with
Really?
Blachowicz. Blachowicz is now the #1 contender at light heavyweight. I mean, obviously Reyes is in there, but he's
Yeah.
coming off a
Wait,
win
AJ. He went 5 rounds with Hermanson.
right before, and he lost that fight too.
Yeah.
Hermanson out-grappled him a
Yeah.
little bit. That was crazy.
Okay.
Hermanson's scary too. Uriah Hall, what was his last fight?
Uriah Hall.
Yeah.
His last fight was against Carlos Jr. de Santos, right?
And he won that fight.
Yeah, he won that fight.
He won it by decision.
See, I'm gonna be honest, man. I like
Dude.
Uriah Hall.
Yeah,
I like
Ryan
him.
sounds
He's such a
savage,
cool guy.
man.
You know, he's a
Yeah.
savage. And he's a genuine, nice person. But I think
Mhm.
Jacare beats him. I think Jacare taps him out in the second round. That's my prediction.
Now, do you think
Yeah.
since Jacare is getting a little up there in age, that age will play a factor?
It
into the
could,
fight?
but this matchup, I'm not as worried because
Yeah.
it's just it's truly like Uriah Hall just doesn't really have the grappling skill that Jacare has, and it's by that significant of a margin. And I don't think Uriah Hall is the youngest guy either. So
No,
I'm
he's
gonna
like
pick-
36.
So they're both up there in age. I think Jacare wins it. Now, do I think Jacare goes on to become world champion? I don't know, but I think he wins this fight.
That's an interesting fight, man. I didn't know. Yeah, that's an interesting fight right there.
It
Yeah,
is.
you gotta
You
gotta
didn't hear
side
much
with the
about that one.
experience.
You didn't hear much about that one, man.
Dude, it's like it's getting forgot about, but it's like
Yeah,
one of the
yeah,
craziest fights on the card, man.
That's super underrated.
Mm-hmm.
All right,
Speaking
next
of a
fight.
crazy fight, an underrated fight, the next fight we got is going to be a women's fight.
Dude, Carla Esparza versus Michelle Watterson. Carla Esparza, she was the former champion. This is years ago, before Joanna and Jacek came through and dominated the division. She won the belt. And you know who she beat to win the belt? It was an Ultimate Fighter where they gave away a belt at the end at strawweight. She won against Rose Namajunas, who was only like 22, 23 at that time. And she beat her, and she became the champion, but then went on to lose right away to Joanna and Jacek. But she's still been scrappy and she's been active. And she's fighting Michelle Watterson, the karate hottie, who's pretty savage herself. It's a cool fight.
I got her, man. I got her on this one, man.
This might go to decision, in my opinion.
Yeah, honestly, it's such a close fight because Carla Esparza has a good grappling base.
Yeah, the grappling.
So if the takedown is not stopped by Karate Hottie, she will lose. And it's one of those fights where it's just I feel like Karate Hottie should win, but Carla Esparza just has one of those styles. Like, it might not be pretty, but she might get it done. But I am going to pick Karate Hottie, but it's going to be a decision. I don't see her a stoppage. I see a decision.
I'm going to tell whoever listening right now, the audience, man, I'm a hype beast, all right? Some of my picks are outlandish, but, like, it comes from the heart, though. Like, I can't lie, man. If I'm feeling someone, then it is what it is, bro.
Yeah.
Just so you guys know, I'm just letting you guys know now, man.
He's a passionate guy.
I'm a passionate hype beast, bro.
I gotta say, I think I would agree with AJ right now too. I think the Karate Hottie, I think she's got a good amount of she's got a good array of skills. Like, looking at her previous stats, I see that she's doing pretty well on her hands and her feet too. She's got 9 wins by submission, so I know if it goes to the ground, Carla might have a good amount of experience with jiu-jitsu, but seeing those victories, I feel like Michelle's going to have a good amount of experience on the ground to be able to counteract anything that Carla starts pushing in. So I'm going to go with either a decision if they both kind of play it safe and just feel each other out and not try to go too crazy, either that, or I'd say either second or third round, just stoppage due to submission with Michelle taking the top.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
Avery?
I'll probably side with Michelle Watterson. She did go 5. No. She fought Joanna Jędrzejczyk, right?
I believe so. In Tampa, too.
In Tampa, that's crazy.
Yeah.
She fought and she went all the rounds. She got murked, but she still had the heart to keep going. No, she's not fighting anybody with that skill level. But I would side with her because she's quicker. I feel like she gets her spots quicker with the grappling. She'll get to her spots with quicker with the striking. She'll be able to control the fight a lot quicker, in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree, man. So going on to the next fight. This fight to me is another sleeper. Fabricio Werdum. Fabricio Werdum, bro. This guy is the former world champion. This guy beat Fedor. He's coming back after getting suspended for the anabolic usage. All right? And he's fighting Alessio Linick, a dude who has like 80 fights. And it's just crazy.
I got something to say about this one.
Here.
Alexi Oleinik, man. He has tapped people out in the rarest ways in the UFC.
Yes.
Yeah.
This guy has made people tap in various ways, man. But I do know Fabricio is a savage, man.
If he's on his game,
it's tough, man. I know he's a savage, man. So
he became the last one.
I'm 50-50 on this one right now. I'm not listening to what you guys got to say, and then I'll make my decision. But I know Alexi, he's done some weird, man. He's been choking people out in all different kinds of ways, man. He has some of the rarest chokes you'll find today.
Yeah, no, 100%. Avery, what do you got to say?
How do you think Werdum is on his feet? Do you think his skills on his feet would keep him safe from getting onto the ground? And do you believe his takedown defense would be good enough to keep him away from the boa constrictor?
So let me tell you a little bit about this. The boa constrictor's hands are very awkward. He's a little clunky. He throws shots all to set up grappling. Fabricio Werdum has solid striking. Like, he can strike, dude. Like, he's not the greatest striker, but he's got striking. And then he's a world champion in jiu-jitsu. I don't see him getting tapped out by Alessio Linick. Alessio Linick's a great grappler, but I believe Werdum is just too good, man.
He's a savage, man.
Savage.
Yeah, I know he's animalistic.
See, I didn't know about that. I didn't know he was a world champion. So now this whole fight just got way
jiu-jitsu and MMA. Dude, and he beat years ago he beat Fedor Emelianenko in like 1 minute in Fedor's first loss since like he got stopped by a cut like years ago. So like he's been in big fights. The guy owns a win over Fedor. I think he beat Alistair Overeem back in the day. He beat Cain Velasquez, dude. This guy beat the like Cain Velasquez, who was like the demon, bro. That guy was killing everybody, and he choked them out. Now, it was in Mexico City. People say, oh, the thin air. Velasquez never came back the same guy. Yeah. Never. So that's something, bro. That's something.
No. Like, okay. The way I look at it, Werdum's coming off a 2-year suspension. I believe ring rust exists. So when he is not fighting no schmo. Lexi Oleinik has, like you said, like 75, 80 fights, something ridiculous. He has all the experience he ever needs. And with all that experience, I'm sure he has tricks up his sleeve, and he won't run out of it when he's fighting Werdum. And I'm sure, even though Werdum is a world champ in jiu-jitsu, Oleinik, like, he has a good chin. He throws those casting hooks to make it just so he can grab you. It's like, oh, he's just throwing a hook, he missed me. But he's actually trying to like get in. Yeah. He'll do that like 50 times, and he'll probably get him most of the time.
So who are you picking on that one? That's the real question.
Me personally, I might be biased because I love Oleinik, but I'm picking Oleinik.
You're picking Oleinik, okay?
The Oleinik, man.
I'm gonna go with you, man. I'm gonna go with Oleinik too, because hearing more, bro. I was going with Oleinik the whole time, just based off his streaks that he's been going off, his just unbelievable work on the ground. But hearing about Werdum's, his championship fucking skill and talent, and his ability to actually compete with jiu-jitsu, but then the ring rest.
Yes.
That was a whole new aspect that I think mixed with the whole new way UFC is going to have to be presented now in this 249 fight night.
That's going to be weird for him, dude.
It's going to be different. It's going to be different.
He's not going to fight with I know everyone's not going to fight with the crowd, but it's like, this is his first fight in 2 years.
It's like when you come back, one of those things you have to expect is the energy. You want to have some sort of energy you can feed off of from the crowd, from an audience, even just beyond your coaches. So not having that, not having anything to really dig deep into beyond just a fight and just the championship like road, I think it might hinder him a little. I think Oleinik, his experience, his constant like exposure he's had over the past 2 years that Werdum's had to been off, is going to speak volumes when they get into the ring.
Okay, Chris, what do you think?
Bro, I already said Oleinik's a savage, bro. Like, how many times has he like done a weird submission on somebody? Like, this guy.
Yeah.
Dude, he fought some
crazy
7
on the ground, man. Bro.
He fought some 7-footer like last fight.
Oh yeah, Maurice Green. That dude's like 6'7".
Dude, I was like, what the fuck?
How many Ezekiels has Oleinik pulled off?
Dude, too many.
Crazy, right?
Yeah, it's
weird,
crazy,
man.
He'll pull you on top of him and let you mount him, bro, and he'll tap you out.
Dude, he's on his back and he's dangerous, bro.
Yeah. So here's my opinion. I think that it's going to be a hard fight. Werdum is not going in there and walking through him, but I'm going to say Werdum does take a decision. That's my prediction personally. I think Werdum gets him in a decision.
Yeah,
he does. If it was Werdum in the prime, I'm like, yo, Werdum on fire. I'm picking Werdum by a stoppage. But he's been off for a while. His last fight, he got knocked out. Yes, it was in the 4th round. Yeah, he might have been tired, but he still got a knockout loss. 2 years off. I think he comes in and he's going to get hit. Like, he's going to get touched. He's going to be off a little bit. He's going to get his groove. He takes a decision. That's my prediction. Decision.
I say Oleinik in decision.
Okay. Now, the main fight on the prelims. After all that, now we're on the main fight in the prelims. It's crazy. Cowboy Cerrone rematching Anthony Pettis. Both guys coming off losses. Both guys on the tail ends of their career. This fight is wild. They fought when they were young, and now they're fighting old, bro. This is crazy. This is crazy.
Wild. I'm excited for this fight.
You know how long ago they had this match?
Dude, it might have been 10 years ago, bro. I don't know exactly, but it's been a long time. Like, it was probably 2013, 12, so like 7 years ago.
This was when Pettis was like on top of his game.
Yeah, this was deadly Pettis. This is when Pettis was knocking everybody out.
Back in the day.
What'd you say?
Who won back in the day?
Pettis stopped him in like a minute, dude. It was quick. It was like that. Body kick, boom, done. It was quick.
Okay.
It's such a weird fight. like it's hard for me to pick this fight just because like both guys have a tendency to not show up sometimes. Like sometimes they just don't show up. Like they just are not the same. Like they just didn't have it.
Yeah,
Like,
you're right.
Yeah.
they both have that. Like they both. It's crazy
You're
that
right.
those two both have that. Like the don't show up syndrome. It sucks because they're both
Yeah.
really good, but they both
Like-
have moments they don't show up.
Like Cerrone, in his last interview, they were like, "So what happened that night when you fought Connor?" And he's like, "I didn't show up. It's like I got to the arena and I didn't want to be here." I was like, "Dude, how are you gonna have that
And that's the
mentality?"
thing. That's the thing. When you have that and that happens to you, it's like, what's gonna stop it from happening again? So I
Yeah.
don't even know. I don't know. I really don't know. This fight's weird, dude.
This fight's
weird.
a weird fight, and
I'm
they're
gonna
both
tell
like
you guys. You go ahead, Avery.
Oh, I was just gonna say, AJ, you already mentioned they're coming off losses, but they're both coming off of losing streaks.
Yeah.
So like, Cerrone lost like 3 fights in a row. Pettis, how many fights he lost in a row?
I think so. He goes in, he knocks out Wonder Boy Thompson, one of the best strikers like of all time at welterweight. Jumps up like the fence, that throws a Superman punch. At the end of the day, it was a crazy thing. It happened. Wonder Boy lost it. He was getting destroyed up until then, and this is no disrespect to him, but dude, he was getting dominated, and then he knocks him out. Great, fantastic. He fights Nate Diaz. He got his ass handed to him. Like Nate really fucked him up. And then he fights Diego Ferreira, and Diego Ferreira's no slouch, underrated, dark horse in the lightweight division, and he loses. He gets tapped out. You know, he's lost so many fights. He's taken so many shots. Like, both of these guys have taken so much damage, man. Like, that's the biggest thing. Like, there's 2 guys that have lost and have been finished recently. It's tough, dude. It's tough, man. Chris, what were you saying, man?
Man, honestly, I was pretty confident who I was gonna pick, but now I'm just like,
it's so weird.
You're right, man.
I don't know.
You're freaking right,
I
man.
don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know, man.
What's
I don't
Anthony
know, man.
like fighting style? What is his main focus?
Striker, like
Yeah, he's a
like
striker, man.
freak striker, jumping off the cage.
How's he with his legs? Is he good with kicks?
Dude, he's beyond good with kicks. He's one of the best kickers in like history.
He's
Yeah.
overall very solid.
Okay.
He's got a good game, and like his jiu-jitsu is solid, but like his takedown defense is iffy.
Yeah.
He doesn't always defend, and I do think he breaks. And Cowboy Cerrone also has a similar thing. So now this matchup is so weird because like I'm just like I don't really know who to pick here, man. Like if I have to pick, I'm just gonna go out on a whim and pick Cowboy because at least Cowboy has had some winning streaks in the recent years. Like Pettis has like lost, won, like lost, won. He hasn't really been able to get his shit together. He's just been like on and off. They'll have a big night and then like 3 fights down. So I'm gonna pick Cowboy because he did have a nice streak going at lightweight. And at the end of the day, it's not like Cowboy fought schmoes and lost, and neither did Pettis. But it's like he lost to Justin Gaethje, he lost to Conor McGregor. So 2 like pretty savage guys.
Bro,
Yeah. So I'm gonna pick Cowboy. I think Cowboy gets it done. I think it's a hard fight. I'm gonna be honest. I don't know how he gets it done. I don't even know, dude. Like, who knows? He might get knocked down in 20 seconds, or he might win by submission. I don't know.
I hope it's not at 20 seconds.
I hope to God not.
Yeah.
So
Oh my God.
unpredictable.
If any fight, I see this one being one that they just have to stand and bang. Like I
could
think
see
it's going to be a great display of of the martial arts, especially of Muay Thai and kickboxing.
Oh
Just
yeah,
with
dude. Like,
the experience you guys have had, I feel like that they both have something to prove if they really want it. If they really want it, if they want to dig deep and go for it, this is the fight that they got to go and prove it in.
they need to. They both need to win bad.
You know, this one is a toss-up, man. I'm just gonna go with who I enjoy watching fight the most. I enjoy watching both of them a lot.
Damn.
But
Same.
otherwise, I can't make a decision. But the guy who I like to watch like a lot is Anthony Pettis, bro.
Yeah.
I love watching. All of his fights are savage, man.
Dude, now I'm thinking back. Now I'm like,
I'm
shoot,
just
I want to
gonna
go back
Anthony
on my
Pettis.
pick.
Dude,
Yeah, I'm
Pettis
gonna
has
go
some
Pettis,
crazy
man.
fights.
He has some cool fights, man.
Like, the thing is with this fight, it's literally going to come down to who has the better mentality going into the fight. The fight's going to be won before even walking into the octagon.
I think so. I think these are 2 guys where that's like so true. Like they
It's-
both need like to really just mentally zone in and show up, man.
Yeah.
Because, like,
That's a tough one.
if you go in with a losing attitude, you already lost. But if they both go in with a losing attitude, it's going to be a shit fight. It's like, what the
It'd be an
fuck?
interesting fight in that case.
Yeah.
It's like, what the hell?
I know I picked Cowboy, but like realistically, I am thinking about the fight. Stylistically, Pettis does have so much quicker striking. It's like this is
Cowboys'
just a bad
resume is
matchup.
sick, bro. Don't
It
get me
is.
wrong,
Cerrone,
but
I know.
Pettis is.
Cerrone doesn't have the best chin.
I just don't know.
Yeah, I'm gonna pick
Yeah.
Cerrone. I'm gonna stick with my pick.
Just
Okay.
stick with it, man.
I'm gonna stick with Pettis, just because I don't believe Cerrone. I don't think he can handle his Pettis' strikes.
Mhm.
And like both their
Yeah.
defenses aren't great, so it's literally just gonna be a freaking war, in my opinion.
Tier, do you have anything to add to that?
No, I just wanted to say I think Cowboys gonna take it. It might go to decision if they're both really just staying off to the sides, and unless the Cowboy could get some nice combos in and maybe get those like knockout punches in there, I think it's gonna be a tough fight. It's gonna be a tough fight that they're both gonna have to just grind through and dig deep for.
It's gonna be tough. It's gonna be a tough fight. It's tough, man. But so it's time. Main card time. The main card. We finally arrived at it. Jurgen Decastro versus
Yes.
Greg Hardy. Interesting fight. Greg Hardy, former NFL superstar. Chris, you're a big NFL guy. You know about Greg Hardy. Jurgen Decastro, kind of unknown, but he's undefeated. He's 1-0 in the UFC. Win by knockout. Doesn't have the best physique of all time. You wouldn't like look twice at him if you saw him. 5'11" with a little belly in the middle, but he's got heavy hands, dude.
Yep.
Heavy hands.
So I'm gonna need you guys to kind of like talk to me about Jurgen a little bit. I kind of know how I think of Greg Hardy. So I
Yeah.
know you played for the Cowboys. So naturally, as a Giants fan, I've never really liked them. So I kind of like to bet against Greg Hardy just because I'm a douchebag. But also, it's like I don't know if I have any faith in Jurgen, to be honest. I don't know about him. If you guys can sell me on Jurgen, I'll switch my pick. But I think Greg Hardy comes out with this one.
Yeah, it's
I think
weird.
if you have faith in Jorgen's powerful hands, then that's going to be the selling point for you. This man is
But he's 5'11". What's his reach, bro?
Yeah, but
74, I think.
he's
74.
he's coming off a 5-win streak where he's gotten 4 of those wins by knockouts. Like, I think he's gonna have to put up a tough fight. He's gonna have to really focus in and try to be quicker than Greg, since Greg is he's gonna have that just the
He's a
experience.
better athlete. At the end of the day, he's an athlete.
Be a full athlete.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's the one thing that'll toss Jurgen off in a spin. It's just that super athleticism that Greg will bring into the field, into the match.
I agree.
I'm gonna pick personally Greg Hardy. Here's why. He fought Alexander Volkov. Alexander Volkov is a top 5 heavyweight. He's 6'7", lanky. And Greg Hardy scrapped. He got in there. He lost every round, but he fought 3 rounds. He didn't get stopped. He went in and he fought. And he didn't look scared. Like, he looked scrappy. Like, he looked like a guy that, okay, you can tell that the guy's not as good as the other guy, not as experienced, but he's not bad. And Jurgen Decastro, I don't know. Jurgen Decastro, I've seen one fight for him, and it was a quick knockout. And it was boom, done. So for me, just out of, I guess you could say, like, bias towards Greg Hardy, as I've seen more of him and I've seen him get better over time, I'm gonna pick Greg Hardy.
Better.
I think he pulls it off. I don't know if he knocks out Jurgen. He could. Depends. It depends. Does Jurgen gas out? We haven't seen him go late. Does Jurgen gas out after the first round? He's loading up, throwing bombs. And if Greg doesn't get knocked out, because Greg Hardy has shown that he can take a punch. Like, I've never seen Greg Hardy rocked once. I haven't seen him. So is Jurgen going to be the guy to do it? He's 5'11". Greg Hardy's 6'5". He's got the long arms. I think Greg Hardy keeps him away, some shots, throws in a little leg kicks, cracks him. I think maybe he takes a decision or a late stoppage, depending on Jurgen's cardio, really. I think that's really what it's based on. But he could stop him quick.
Greg Hardy's got that natural, athletic ability, too, man. He was a pretty good football player when he wasn't getting, in trouble. But he's athletic. He's a freak. I don't know if I got faith in Jorgen, man. I think Greg Hardy comes out with it. Remember when he pulled out that inhaler at mid-round? What fight was that? That was like 2 fights ago. Hilarious.
Dude,
that was funny, man.
Who the hell knows? I don't know. He won that fight too, and that could be a similar fight to this. Keeping a distance, moving.
I think Greg Hardy got this one.
Yeah, I agree with Greg Hardy, because like the one fight that I watched the same fight as you did, AJ, with Decastro. Like, he was throwing bombs the entire fight, and he finally caught the guy with the bomb.
Yeah.
So, but like Greg Hardy, like you said, he's got the length reach, he's got the athletic background. He's a former NFL player. He's not gonna lose that.
I agree with you 100%. Yeah, Greg Hardy, man. That's the pick for
I
me.
think we're all going
Very
Greg Hardy,
risky
man.
fights now, you know. So
Mhm.
if I think Jurgen's got the best chance in the first round to take.
That's
the
what
win.
he's got. He's
As-
got one. That's
As
it.
it goes to the second and third round, I'm thinking his odds are getting cut in half every
Boom.
round.
Mhm.
It's gonna be tough for him to go into those later rounds, man.
Agreed, 100%.
Agreed.
Next fight.
This is
Calvin
yeah.
Kattar, Jeremy Stevens. This is a pretty good fight between two solid featherweights. Here, could you actually pull up both of those guys?
Yeah, I got him pulled up right now.
Because I
Can I
think,
comment on this one real quick?
yeah, comments on it.
Let me just say, this fight. Well, I also have a question. I got two.
Chris, you're lagging out, bro. We
Going
can't hear you.
robotic on us.
Calvin
We're going,
Yeah.
but Jeremy.
you ready? Yeah, you're good now.
Am I good? Am I
Yeah.
good? Yeah, Jeremy Stevens, bro. He's like one of my top 8 like favorite fighters right now. He's a savage, bro. But he's also one of those guys that it's like he can beat anybody, but he can also lose to anybody.
Yeah.
Hate to say it, but
It's a 500
he
fight.
throws bombs,
Yeah.
bro. But Jeremy Stevens, he's one of my favorite fighters, man. I love watching Jeremy Stevens. He's
Comes
a
to scrap
savage.
every time, dude. At the end of the day, he comes to scrap every time. He fought against Yair Rodriguez in a 3-round fight. He lost the first 2 rounds, dominated the third. You lose the decision. The first fight they had scheduled was supposed to be a 5-rounder, but then the eye poke in the middle of the fight was like 5 seconds long. It was like, holy shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. So disappointing, man. But I
So
love Jeremy Stevens, bro.
Calvin
No homo.
Kattar's no slouch though. Calvin Kattar is
Calvin
solid.
Kattar's a monster.
I think
I need
he
to.
beat Ricardo Lamas. Like this guy is like he's good. His last fight he fought Magomed Sharipov, who's a pretty savage fighter, and he won the last round. Same type of thing. Like comes back in the end, comes on strong. At the end of the day, it leaves a positive thought for like the fans. Like, oh shit, that guy's pretty good. Even though he lost the fight, he won the last round. So hey, who knows if it's a 5-round. Personally, if I am gonna pick on this fight, I'm gonna pick Calvin Kattar. I think that he's just more technical with his boxing, and I think that he's gonna be able to get the decision nod on
You're
Jeremy
probably right.
Stevens. Yeah, I don't think he lays him out or anything like that. I think it's a decision
No.
fight.
Yeah, I think it's decision. They're both very evenly matched. And they have
It
the
is.
yeah, very evenly matched. Fun fact, I'm pretty sure Calvin Kattar is from Jacksonville, which is kind of fun.
Is he? Oh shit. Shit. So yeah, Jacksonville stand up.
Eh,
That's sick, dude.
Well, I don't really know much about either of these fighters, so I'm just gonna go with Calvin.
Okay. Now,
Yeah,
let's
I
jump
heard
to-
Calvin's a
Bro,
savage.
that's
I
it.
think he looks like he's got hands, and I'm hoping he'll use them well.
He'll use him well. All right. Francis Ngannou, Jairzinho Rozenstruik. This fight is truly the number 1 contender fight at heavyweight. You know, I know Daniel Cormier is guaranteed his rematch with Stipe, which absolutely he deserves in my opinion. But the next contender is gonna be between these guys, I'd assume. It's a crazy match. What's that background noise?
oh, sorry, I got it.
Francis is a savage, man.
He's savage. Heavy
A
hands.
favorite fighter of mine too.
Heavy
He's in my
hands.
top 5 for sure. Heavy hands, bro.
Yeah,
Too
I'm
heavy.
pretty confident in Francis, man.
yeah. Francis, he just took down Dos Santos too, like his last fight.
Ow.
First
Shit.
round knockout, dude. In minute 15. Unbelievable.
Unbelievable. And dude, you gotta understand, like this guy's beating everybody in like 1 shot.
Yeah.
Like he just like dude, he knocked out Cain Velasquez in 25 seconds, bro.
Yeah, I was just about to mention that. His fight before that, 25 seconds, knockout. Cain fucking Velasquez.
Like
went
he's beating savages, dude. He
He's a
took
beast.
Alistair Overeem's head almost clean off his body. He almost decapitated him, bro.
Jesus.
It
He's
was
a monster.
nuts. For me, I think Jairzinho Rozenstruik is good. He's got heavy hands too, so he's tough. But if you see him fight Alistair Overeem, he was losing that whole fight, and then with like a second left, he knocks him out, splits his lip. Great, awesome. But he's got exposed. Now, Francis Ngannou is nowhere near the grappler that Alistair Overeem is, and this is going to be a straight hands fight. So really, there's always a chance of a knockout. But Francis Ngannou's never been stopped. He's taken some shots, but he's never been stopped. He fought against Stipe Miocic and lost, and then he fought the worst fight of all time versus Derek Lewis and lost a fight that should have been a damn like throw this away and never talk about this fight
Oh
again
my
type of
God.
fight.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
It was bad. Like that fight was bad. Like that fight was like really bad. But and I was like,
Oh,
damn, Francis lost it, bro. He's done. He comes back laying everybody out quick. Boom, knocks out Curtis Blades, who's a savage. Bro, Curtis Blades is no slouch. He knocks him out. Then lays out Cain Velasquez. Now, Junior Dos Santos. Now it's Rosenstruik. Rosenstruik's legit though, man. Like I feel like who knows for one reason. If Rosenstruik can take a punch, he's also got heavy hands. Like this fight could be interesting. What if Ngannou gasses and then gets stopped? Like he needs. We haven't
Man, I
seen
don't
it. Like I don't
know.
know. It's weird, man. Like I
That's
think
my
like
big
it's
concern
weird.
too is the difference in stamina between them because both of them have been very good at knockouts in early rounds, quick
Mhm.
fights, quick ending against greats. So
Rosenstruik showed one thing though that we have not seen the same from Francis Ngannou. He carried that power after getting dominated for a whole fight for 5 rounds, like 4.5 rounds, like the whole fight, and then he goes and he knocks him out. Now, at the end of the day, Alistair Overeem does not have a steel chin by any means anymore. So how heavy was that shot? Would that a shot have knocked out Francis Ngannou? We don't know.
yeah. But at least
it
it shows that he has the heart to go 5 full rounds, which
right.
Yeah.
you're only going 3 is going to display a lot of more just energy ready for you to use in the tank.
Yeah. Francis Ngannou really changed his style up a bit, like not like fighting style, but like his training style. He got really cut. He lost a lot, all the excess body fat. He even leaned out like some muscle mass, and he's like a way more better athlete, but he carries that same power that he had when he was bulky. So he's
He's a
scary.
beast. He's
He's
beast,
scary,
man.
dude.
He's a
Scary.
beast.
Has he been doing that just recently, or is that specific like for this match where he's been kind of training more, getting more lean, more athletic?
He started that like right, I think, before the Derek Lewis fight that he lost in that terrible fight because he fought for the world title. He landed some clean shots on Stipe. Stipe ate Elmo like a fucking monster, and then he goes in there and he loses the fight. He wins the first round, loses the fight, got taken down. Like showed that he had a lot of skills to work on, but Stipe Miocic took some damage in that fight because then his next fight, he fights Daniel Cormier. He got knocked out in the first round. And I'm not saying that it was purely that fight, but that definitely, like, he took some shit out of Stipe Miocic for a while. Like, Stipe had to take a recovery time. But after the Cormier fight, now I'm not saying Cormier wouldn't have knocked him out if that didn't happen, but Ngannou gave him some serious
You
damage.
just said Francis Ngannou sabotaged his next.
He did. He made me.
Fight
Yeah.
from rocking him.
Dude, he
All right.
cracked him, dude.
Hey,
He
man,
gave
Can't
him
sleep
like,
on this man.
He's a
Yeah.
savage.
you can't sleep on him. I'm personally going to pick Ngannou. I think Rosenstruik's good, but I don't
Ngannou's
know.
too much of an animal.
He's too much, dude. I think Ngannou lays him out, to be 100% honest with you. I don't know how Rosenstruik's chin is. We're going to find out. But at the end of the day,
We're
even
gonna
if you have the
find out.
hardest chin of all time, even if you're prime Mark Hunt, if you get hit by Francis Ngannou, you're going to bed.
Like,
no
I'll take
stopping it.
Ngannou because of that, and I feel like he's going to be more mobile. He'll be moving around more than Rosenstrike. And I feel like he'll play somewhat passive aggressive. Like he'll run around the cage. He'll
counter.
He'll counter. He's gonna wait till Rosenstrike throws something unsafe, and he'll punish him for it.
Yeah, that's it. I'm predicting a knockout. I could see it in the first round. I could see it quick. It could happen in one punch. It's crazy, but who knows?
That's
It could happen.
tough.
Rosenstrike, who knows? It's crazy. I'm gonna pick Ngannou though. Stoppage for
Hate
sure.
to see it, man. Hate
I'm gonna
to
go with
see it.
Ngannou too.
Yeah.
Everybody Ngannou, bro.
Yeah.
Team Ngannou up in here. Team Ngannou. Now it's time for title time. It is the main event. Henry Cejudo versus Dominic Cruz. This fight's crazy, dude. Nuts. Absolutely nuts to me.
Henry Cejudo, the young 16-year-old boy that was grappling with Olympians versus Dominic Cruz, the GO of bantamweight, bro.
Realistically, yeah.
I don't
The
know if
OG.
Dominic Cruz is going to finish anybody nowadays, but he doesn't have to, bro, because he's just going to beat the shit out of you.
Yeah, he'll
the
run
whole
circles.
5 rounds, bro.
Yeah.
Seriously. Savage, man. I like this match, bro.
It's a crazy fight.
It's gonna be a crazy fight.
It's gonna be insane. And Dominic Cruz is coming off of though a layoff, but also a brutal knockout loss. Brutal. Like to say brutal knockout loss, excuse me. Brutal decision loss. He lost pretty much every round against Cody Garbrandt. But that was when Cody Garbrandt was on some, I'm not saying he's on steroids, but I'm saying he was on like his game on another point. Like he was like looking like, unbeatable. And he lost that fight. Now, we never saw that Cody Garbrandt again after that. But Dominic Cruz, let's not forget, did lose his last fight and now has had an extended layoff. And he's coming in fighting a double champion who has been active as hell.
Yes, sir. Henry Cejudo, man.
It's going to be crazy.
Now, like with Henry Cejudo, I'm going to personally just say, I believe Henry Cejudo is going to take this just because, like I mentioned previously, I believe in ring rust. I know Dominic Cruz don't believe that because he believes he takes care of his body and he trains the way he needs to over time, even though he's had many like unfortunate injuries and he always goes on a long layover with his fights. He never like is consistently active. So the fact that Henry Cejudo is just consistently active and he's double champ, like you can't even though Dominic Cruz is former champ, but Henry's been way more active in two weight divisions. I'm gonna say Henry's gonna take this fight.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, he beat Mighty Mouse when Mighty Mouse was on top of his throne for so long. Now, whether you think he won it or not, he was extremely close, dude. It was like super close. So it's crazy, dude. This fight's wild, man. He knocked out TJ Dillashaw in like 20 seconds.
Yeah.
Now, granted, TJ was strange, but at the end of the day, still knocked him out in 20 seconds. Let's not forget about it.
Yeah, and didn't he test positive for some type of drug?
Yeah, he tested positive for like I forget what it was exactly. It was something with the red blood cell count thing.
Doping. Is that?
What'd you say?
Is it doping?
It was like blood doping. Yeah, that's what it was. It was something with that. So for me, I just feel like Henry Cejudo is just on his game, and he's getting better every time. And he's also got power, dude. Like you saw that fight with Marlon Moraes. Like Marlon Moraes was beating him the first round, bad. Marlon Moraes is scary, and then boom, Henry Cejudo just turned it on, destroys him, absolutely murdered him from that point on. So to me, it's one of those fights, man, where it's like, which Dominic Cruz shows up? Because he's gotten older, bro. Is it prime Dominic Cruz? Personally, I don't think it is. I don't think it's prime Dominic Cruz. I think it's Dominic Cruz. I think it's realistically, it's gonna be the Dominic Cruz that fought Cody Garbrandt, and I feel like that Dominic Cruz might get knocked out, dude.
Yeah.
Like I don't see him winning.
Might win a round or two, but
maybe.
I don't see 3.
Dude, Father Time's gonna, with the addition, Father Time, his injuries, and his lack of activity, bro. That's like 3 factors. That's gonna be huge for him fighting against Henry Cejudo, and that's complete opposite for Henry. He doesn't have any of those problems.
He's young, he's active, and he wants to be the champ. Where he's hungry, man. So to me, if I'm really gonna pick, it's I think Henry Cejudo might stop him in the 3rd round, dude. Like I think he could really stop him, which is gonna be crazy. But I really could see that happening just because age catches up to you. And at the end of the day, let's not forget, Dominic Cruz wasn't supposed to be in this fight. Jose Aldo was supposed to be fighting. So let's not forget about that. Like he came in on the short notice. Now at the end of the day, maybe he was still training, but he hasn't had a tune-up fight, man. Before he came back after the layoff and fought for the title, he had that tune-up fight where he won in like 50 seconds. But he still had that. He went out there. Now, lay off, right to world title fight against a double champion, a guy that proves he's the best at 125 and 135.
And this isn't like, let's be honest. Nobody in general has probably had an optimal fighting camp throughout this pandemic. So on top of him being having such a layover from his last fight, now he's probably not training to his best of ability because of the lack of resources that he has. Even though everybody else has the same handicap, he's different because of the injuries, Father Time, and all the other.
Yeah. And it seemed like he would be the type of guy who would need a little bit of extra training or that extra push in your training to help catch you up almost to the point where Henry Cejudo is at the moment.
Exactly, dude. He needed a tune-up fight, dude. He took it. He wanted to fight for the title. He doesn't believe in ring rust. That's
tough, man. That's
crazy.
Yeah.
It's insane
Henry's
to go in.
Savage.
Dude, Henry's a savage, bro.
Why, bro? So like, I'm on the kind of more casual side, if you can't tell. Why is Henry like? Is he like just not marketable? Like, I feel like you don't really hear too much about him.
It's the weight division, man.
The weight class?
I'm going to argue that what it is, his personality, he's the king of cringe, you know? He's cringy, dude.
He is cringy.
But I find it funny. Like, I like what he's doing because when he first came into the UFC, he was all business. But now he's like, okay, you want to be an elite fighter, you got to get known. Like, when he first he was on The Ultimate Fighter as a coach. He fought Joseph Benavidez. And as a coach, he was like a legit coach, serious. You didn't get that cringe thing. He was like, he didn't do any of that. And then next thing you know, boom, he flipped it because he realized, okay, How am I gonna make money and get the big fights? It's not by sitting there not saying much. Hey, yeah, like that's not how that's not how you get it, bro. Like
Personality.
you gotta have a personality to really get the money fights and to get the double champ fight. Like you gotta sell it. He calls it out. He talks shit, and that's how he did it. I think that he's gonna get Dominic Cruz, dude. He gets Dominic.
Yeah.
He's gonna
I
get him.
agree.
That's my opinion. And
Interesting
I
fight,
love
though.
Dominic Cruz. It's an interesting match. Like, but dude, if
Yeah,
Dominic
it's
Cruz proves me
interesting.
wrong, God bless, because I love Dominic Cruz, bro.
Yeah,
He's a
he's a
great
savage.
analyst and a savage. Dude, this guy
Mhm.
was the WEC champ, bro. He was the champ from way back in the day, and then he won the UFC belt. Like, pretty crazy, man. Pretty crazy.
Yeah.
It's wild.
Now, the craziest fight, the main event.
Main event.
Tony Ferguson fighting Justin Gaethje.
Let's go.
Interesting. The first time they were matched up, they canceled UFC 249.
God bless this
Fight
fight, man.
Khabib. God bless this fight for real. Thank God if something's happening, man. This fight's gonna be wild,
I
man.
know.
Oh my God.
For
Bad
real.
luck for Tony Ferguson because he's getting another interim belt. This guy's gonna have all the interim belts stacked, bro.
Yeah, shit,
Bad
Now,
bro.
dude, he's the interim champ. Like he's the lifetime interim champ, man.
Fuck.
I think what makes Tony Ferguson really dangerous, as you all might agree, is his ability to handle tough situations. Like he's
Absolutely.
able to when he's behind, he's still dangerous, and that's what makes him so dangerous.
Yeah,
That's
that's what
why I always
pushes it
bet
to
with
another
him.
level.
Because he isn't.
Yeah.
When you think he's hurt, like I don't know if you guys remember the Anthony Pettis fight. Anthony had him rocked. Next thing you know, Anthony Pettis breaks his hand. He got a big cut down his forehead. Couldn't even finish the fight, man. So
Yeah. He made it. He made Pettis quit.
Ferguson's a savage, bro. Gaethje's also a savage too, man.
Dude,
This man throws hands, bro. He throws hands, bro. As long as I don't know about his defense too much, but this man throws hands.
He gets hit. But the thing
This
is, that's
fight
his
is
style,
great,
bro.
man.
He just stands in there and bangs. Like he takes
He's
the
a
damage.
savage.
He's
Oh
just
my God.
controlled chaos. It's just like there's structure to his chaos. He knows what he's doing.
He's a savage, man.
Just straight violence.
He's
He's
a
a violent
contender
dog.
as long as he fights like that, man. Honestly.
I think that this fight is weird for one reason is because like Justin Gaethje, let's be honest, like he came in on short notice. I like took it. It's in this weird situation. Even for Tony Ferguson, he's in the same weird situation. Like to be fighting now, not only fighting at this time, which is like a big deal enough, you're fighting for the world title. At the end of the day, it's an interim title. It's the world title for now. It's the guarantee that the winner of this fight deserves that shot against Khabib. If the thing about this fight is Conor, I don't see how he'd be able to jump the interim champion unless there was an injury.
So.
Now, if somebody gets injured, then Conor McGregor's gonna be fighting Khabib. You know, like they want to set that up. We know they want to set that up.
They want to set that up, baby.
They do.
Yo, I'm down for that.
But at the end of the day, Tony Ferguson and Justin Gaethje is a crazy fight. You have Justin Gaethje who
It's a great fight.
Scraps, dude. He goes in like he puts his body on the line more than I've seen, dude. Like this guy has gotten hit, bro. His UFC debut, brawl. His next fight, he loses, bro. Eddie Alvarez beats him. Eddie Alvarez beats him in a fight that was very tough. Now, at the end of the day, Eddie Alvarez then soon thereafter washed out. But let's not forget that Eddie Alvarez is a former world champ. Like he's an elite fighter. Then he fights Dustin Poirier. Dustin Poirier and him go at it. Dustin Poirier knocks him out. Dustin Poirier is good technically, but at the end of the day, Gaethje fucked him up with those leg kicks bad. Like Gaethje's a guy that he can beat anybody, but at the end of the day, yeah, he's lost some fights, but he's only lost like elite level guys. It's not like he's losing to Joe Schmo.
Yeah.
Then he turns it up. Then he turns it around. He said, all right, we're thinking, because I think, I'm going to be honest, I think people thought, you know what, this guy was a little bit overrated. He was undefeated outside the UFC. He came to the UFC and proved, hey, he's not that guy. But he proved everybody wrong. Knocks out James Vick. And then the next fight, he knocks out Edson Barboza. Next thing you know, this guy fights Donald Cerrone, knocks him out. Boom. So, like, he's knocking everybody out. Like, he's no slouch. He comes to fight, and he's changed his style a bit. He's getting hit less, and he's landing these knockout punches. Dude, the way he turns his body into punches is something else. Like, he hits hard, man.
Yeah,
really
the leverage he has when he throws his strikes is ridiculous.
Ridiculous, bro. And I think it's from wrestling. He's got those crazy hips, so he's figured out how to turn that into punching power and just explodes into every punch that he throws, man. He tries to knock everybody out. It's a tough fight.
It's a tough, man. I don't know. Before that, Pettis broke his hand. I feel like Ferguson was turning it around. Like, Pettis would have gotten beaten up those last few rounds. So,
yeah.
I mean, if Gaethje can go in there and he's going to dude, he's gonna build bonds. He's a savage, but it could be the same situation, bro. You rock Ferguson once, but you don't finish him, man. You
Yes.
better keep your cardio up, or it's gonna be good night, man.
Yeah, that's the thing. Does he gas out, man? Does he
It's
does he
tough,
go?
man.
Does he bang? Give it all he's got, throw,
I don't know,
and
man.
then he gasses out. Like that's the
think
biggest
short notice,
concern.
man.
That's my thing. That's why I'm just gonna say I think Tony Ferguson's gonna win because even though Gaethje has all the knockout power you need, we've never seen him go 5 rounds.
Mm-mm.
Shit,
Tony
yeah.
Ferguson, we all know how ridiculous his cardio is.
Oh, he's
He
set.
can go
Mm.
10 rounds.
Yeah.
He'll be fine. And he's so prepared, like you said, Chris, he's great in tough situations because he's prepared to be in every situation.
The freak.
Like he knows what to do and how to do it.
That's that championship mindset. You don't get to the champ. You don't get to be champion without learning how to learn.
Dude, this man hasn't
I think
lost in
that's
like
a big thing.
8 years for a reason.
If Gaethje doesn't finish him off soon, I think Tony, he's gonna start learning the fighter. That's how he always has to do it. You know, you might be iffy on round 1, maybe round 2, not likely though. And then that's when you really start solidifying your strategy against him. So
Yeah.
You know who I think would like Gaethje, bro?
Gaethje's chance is gonna be to kind of keep things fresh, keep Tony on his feet, not let him boil him down to one fight style, or else he's gonna just go to work.
I think Alex would really like Gaethje in this fight, bro.
You think?
He's the type to make that bet. He would go Gaethje, I feel
He
like.
might. I didn't even ask him. I should have, honestly, because
I could see
he
that.
predicts a lot of
You
good
should
shit.
have, bro. He always, dude. He's just like
He
he's more of a
predicted
hype man than
Reyes was
me,
gonna.
bro.
He predicted Reyes.
Yeah, he
was
would
gonna fuck him
have
up, and he
Reyes to
did,
win that
and he
fight.
fucked him up. And at the end of the day, yeah, Jones got the nod,
let's not
but
even talk about
yeah,
that.
but you know, so crazy fun fact. This is a fun fact. Justin Gaethje's UFC debut was actually against the only guy Tony Ferguson lost to in the UFC, Michael Johnson.
Really?
Yeah, how crazy is that? This is funny coincidence.
Yo.
And you know, Tony Ferguson did lose that fight. He fought 3 rounds. He went to distance with a broken arm, bro. Like this guy's a savage. He's on another level, bro.
He's next
Oh
level,
my
man. He's next level, man. Gaethje's great, but Ferguson, I think.
Super Saiyan shit right there.
Yeah.
dude.
I'm having a tough time with this fight. Just like I'm having a hard time even imagining this fight happening, bro.
Yeah, same.
It's so
Cool fight,
wild.
man.
When I heard about it, I'm like, dude, I can't imagine them fighting in the same.
It's gonna be
Bro,
so weird.
I'm so happy about this fight, man.
Yeah, it is.
Gaethje's a perfect, guy to put in there when Khabib, tapped out.
Here's
for
the
good
thing.
reason.
Here's the thing, bro. Let's talk about one thing because the other day Khabib is the champion, and I think we need to bring up Khabib. We can't forget that Khabib is the guy. How do you think that Justin Gaethje would fare against Khabib? Just let's say hypothetically, because I feel like that's a crazy matchup. Because Justin Gaethje's wrestling is like high level, bro. Like this dude was a savage. So I'm not saying that Khabib couldn't take him down, but let's say he doesn't, and then he cracks Khabib. The style to beat Khabib, I feel like Justin Gaethje stylistically gives Khabib a crazy problem because of that crazy power. You know, that's something that most fighters don't have is the heavy hands like that. So I don't know, and the wrestling. It's interesting, man. I know it's not happening. He has to get through Tony Ferguson.
Yeah.
Tony Ferguson versus Khabib. That fight needs to happen eventually. Now,
Yeah.
the crazy thing is if Tony Ferguson ends up losing this fight, and it's like, oh my god, that Khabib fight. What the hell, bro? It's just like, it's just not destiny. Like I don't know, man. I'm really having a hard time with this fight.
Yeah, I know.
It's just hard for me to pick this fight, man. I don't know if you guys have a prediction on it that you want to jump in right now.
Well, I already gave you my prediction.
You guys both flowing with Ferguson. I got that vibe.
Ferguson.
You're all going Ferguson. Here's what I'm going to say. I think Justin Gaethje is a freak. I think Justin Gaethje is crazy. And I just feel like I don't want to not give him the respect and nobody pick him, bro. So I'm going to go with the wild card. I'm going to go with the underdog. I'm going to pick Gaethje, bro. I'm just I don't know if it's going to happen, but at the end of the day, I feel like Justin Gaethje's losses have come when he gasses out. He's come when he's fought better technicians. I don't think Ferguson's more technical than him on the feet. I think that Justin Gaethje can beat Ferguson on the feet. And the thing is, on the ground, yes, Tony Ferguson is a much better jiu-jitsu practitioner, but elite level wrestling. Now, both are elite wrestlers, but I don't see Tony Ferguson being able to control him on the ground. And I feel like Justin Gaethje, with his leg kicks, is a freak style. Ferguson, the elbows. The main thing, the weird elbows, the clinch game, that could be something. I think, though, unorthodox. I'm gonna be honest, dude. I think Justin Gaethje shocks the world, dude. I think Justin Gaethje shocks. Now, I might be totally wrong, and he might get his ass kicked, but I think he shocks the world. And one of those things is like, oh my god, dude. Now the division's flipped upside down and spun all around, bro.
I love Gaethje, but I don't need that happening, bro.
I get
Ferguson's
it.
time to face Khabib is coming up, bro.
MMA is a
I need
mean
to see
sport,
it,
bro.
man.
The
I need to
MMA
see it.
gods don't fuck
Yeah, I don't want
around.
to wait. I'm not gonna wait 2 years, bro.
No way. Hey, as soon as, let's say hypothetically, Ferguson wins, bro, he's literally gonna call up to be like seconds after the fight.
It
Like,
needs
yo,
to
bro.
be
No, he'll call him
on the
out as soon
spot.
as he wins on the spot. Say, yo, bro, I'll fight you next week.
Yeah, let's set it up.
As soon as you
Yeah.
get that visa,
Let's go. That's it, dude. They got to do it on Fight Island. Fuck it. Let's go. Let's set it
dude,
up.
Fight Island
The
on
thing
the
is,
beach.
Ramadan. That's the biggest thing that fucks the Muslim
Yeah.
fighters over. Is especially Khabib. He doesn't want to. Which I totally get it. Bro. Like I wouldn't want to fight if I'm not eating until
Yeah.
dawn to dusk. Like I'm not eating through dawn to dusk. Like I wouldn't want to fight either. So it makes sense. But now we have to wait all the way to September, which obviously it probably would have lined up like that anyways. Let's hope nobody gets hurt. Let's hope that fight actually happens. And whoever wins, may the best man win, whoever it shall be. Whoever, between both of those matchups versus Khabib is a crazy fight, though. Both of those
I
guys
just
versus
need to
Khabib
see it,
sells.
man.
Be crazy, bro. Hopefully they don't throw some BS and say, oh, Connor's going to actually get the shot, something. Because then I'll be like, ah.
Nah.
It's not that I
Yeah.
love Connor, but he needs to fight
Yeah,
like somebody else,
yeah.
something.
Yeah, I feel like Connor will fight the loser of this fight.
That could work. The only
Yeah,
problem with
okay.
when they do the loser of this fight matchup is Connor. I feel like, does he want to fight? Now it's 2 fights in a row. He's fighting a guy coming off a loss. Because who always look to point out a flaw in Connor, bro.
It's like, well, okay.
Who
Then
else?
who do you want him to fight then?
Yeah, that's the thing. I don't know.
Unless you want him to fight at 170.
Yeah, the Jorge Masvidal fight would be insane, but Masvidal's fighting for the belt.
Yo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or do they somehow say,
Yeah.
all right, Nate Diaz and him again? I don't even want to see it, bro. I don't even like. It's
I
not
don't want
like
to see that.
Bro,
It's
as
just-
long as Nate Diaz fights, I'm watching.
dude, I
I'm gonna
love it
see.
if it happens, but it's like in my mind, I'm like, bro, Nate Diaz has been hit so many
like-
times, bro. He's getting cracked. I don't want to
Yeah,
see another
bro.
battle
Yeah.
like that.
Like, if it's on, I wouldn't mind it. I'm gonna watch it regardless.
Yeah.
Something
Like,
new.
But if I had another option, I'll go for the option.
Tirith, what'd you say?
You're right.
if you want to see something new, something different.
Yeah.
That's exactly how I feel, bro. Like, I want to see Connor in a new matchup. I don't know what the hell that matchup's gonna be. We're gonna have to see. Time will tell. He might box again, bro. There's always, I'm always hearing, bro, him and Floyd, this, that. He wants to box this. He might box Paulie. Like, he likes, the thing is, if he doesn't stick with MMA, he comes back to MMA off. You saw, I'm not trying to say Khabib wouldn't have beat him, but you saw him versus Khabib. At the end of the day, bro, you could tell the timing was slightly off because he's getting used to the 8-ounce gloves, bro. Or the 10-ounce gloves at that weight class. But at the end of the day, he's getting used to boxing gloves. So that changes everything ever so slightly. And in a fight versus another elite talent, like, you need to be absolutely dialed in 100%, man. And that's what I feel like Connor's biggest problem is. Yes, take the Floyd fights, the biggest money fight you could ever imagine. Why would you not take it? But to beat Khabib, you need to be dedicated to MMA more than ever. It needs to be MMA is the only thing you're thinking, grappling, all this shit. It needs to get on point, man.
Yeah, you're right.
I think he's gonna stick to MMA because I saw something that he just recently changed how he spars now. Instead, he'd spar like super intense. He'll actually try to go basically kill his sparring partner. But now he's trying to take it more light, more easy for the longevity of his career, which
Yeah,
I
smart.
find is way more smart because now he gets to work on timing and he has to be more conservative with his punches. Because like when he fought Cerrone, he missed one punch.
Yeah,
One
he was
punch.
precise.
And he ended that in less than a minute. He was
Yeah.
precise, on point. And it was the first punch. He landed, how many punches did he land consecutively? Like, something ridiculous, like 15?
Dude, he literally just, that fight was just a whitewash, dude. It was just literally shot after
He
shot after shot.
manhandled Cerrone.
Dude,
Yeah,
Cerrone needs to forget about that and just move forward,
Yeah, I
man.
did not see that coming at all,
Craziness.
man.
The craziest thing about this whole, like, coronavirus thing going on, like, with this card happening, I'm happy it's happening. You guys feel the same? Do you think that sports should, at least MMA should be happening right now? Or do you think they should be holding off? Like, personally, like, in terms of, like, safety precaution.
I personally believe, the way I look at it, I don't think team sports in general should not, like, be going on at all because there's just too many people in general. Just way too many people. But when you go to individual sports like golf, tennis, MMA, I see that it works because you don't need teammates. You just need you and like your coaches
That's
or
it.
whomever you
The
feel like
ref.
that's
I think the ref could wear a
because
mask even.
it's one on one.
Mhm.
Yes, and they don't need the only time they get close to the fighters is when they start and when they're gonna
Break it up.
break it up. That's
I
it.
think if there were a sport that it could be possible, to reopen like sports again, it would be like MMA,
MMA,
golf,
boxing,
tennis, just because
kickboxing, golf, tennis.
they,
Yeah,
yeah, they don't got to be too many people there. Wear gloves, wear
Definitely team
mask,
sports, I think, should be held off on because you
whatever.
just don't know with like people being asymptomatic and stuff. You don't know
Mhm.
how it's going to spread or who it can even spread
Yeah,
to that
because it's
fast.
like
Individual, like one-on-one sports like these, like combat sports, where only a couple of people are truly even involved. As long as you can get those individuals
Mhm.
tested before and make sure everyone's clean and you're running the environment and the whole event as safe as possible, I don't see why you shouldn't.
Exactly.
Especially
yeah,
during this when the masses need entertainment. Like, what better time than now to fuel everybody's just desire for something?
Dude,
yeah,
we're
and
going
even
nuts. We're going nuts. Nothing's going
we
on,
are
bro. We
going
need
crazy.
We
sports.
We're
started a
going nuts. We
podcast,
need
bro.
something.
Yeah.
Yes, about this because
We
we're
started a
excited.
damn podcast.
And one thing with team sports, the crowds play such a big factor on how the game goes. Like,
They do.
but in an individual sport, like fucking golf or tennis or MMA, like whether there's a crowd there or not, it doesn't. Even though it plays some type of factor, it doesn't play anything close to like if somebody gets dunked on in basketball, the crowd's gonna go crazy. Then that man's ego is gonna go off the charts. And then that team's gonna have momentum going on to the next play. Now they're gonna play great defense. The
Yeah.
other team, they're gonna feel like shit. They're not gonna be like, oh crap, our best player just got dunked on. Now we gotta like get back to him. Now they're gonna
Right.
like, fuck, I can't shoot. Just a trickle down effect. The crowd
Yeah.
plays such a huge factor.
Yeah.
I feel like even in MMA though, like the crowd does change things. Like you feel the energies from your crowd. You're walking out, bro. Even from my own experience in boxing, bro. Like even not being like no one's cheering you on like that. Like you're a world champ, but like you just hearing the crowd, like it gives you like a different feeling. Now if it's like in the gym and you're sparring, and even if it's hard and it's silent, it's different. For me, I would actually probably say the nerves would be so weird. Like it'd be less because it's like I'm not really like I don't know. There's like is not all the energies. It's my energy, my opponent's energy, and let's go. It's gonna be cool, dude. I'm excited, and absolutely, they're gonna take the safety precautions. Daniel Cormier talked about it, man. He said that he feels like it's more safe than him being at home, like than him just being out. Like
Yeah.
they have it that safe. Like it's gonna be precise, and I feel like it's gonna be good because I also heard they're splitting up the commentators, like maybe Rogan here, John Anik there, Daniel Cormier there. You got Dana White somewhere in the crowd, like maybe there. Like I think they're gonna do a good job. I don't think it's gonna be too crazy. They talk about that they're doing it like not in the locker room like before. They're gonna do it like everybody has their own trailer and then they leave. Like you're not staying and watching the fights. Like that's the one thing that kind of sucks. Like if I was a fighter, I want to go watch. But no, like,
Yeah.
you fight and you're out, and that's it. You're gone. Like you fight and you're done. You leave. You get the hell out of there.
Yeah.
Like they're
That's
not
good.
hanging out. Like it's not like you're sitting back. You're
Yeah.
not doing the
Okay.
backstage, bro. I don't even know if there's gonna be a countdown show. Like
Yeah.
that's so true. Like
Really?
there really probably isn't gonna be. Like they might do live interviews or something like that, but they're not gonna be really recording training unless like it's they get it from like people's phones personally. Like maybe if like somebody's wife or somebody's
Yeah.
like brother or whoever they're training with, their couple training partners that they have.
Ask
Dude,
clips beforehand.
I don't even think if say a fight went to decision, do you think they'll like have the referee hold the fighter's hands and raise it up? Or do
Bro,
you
really,
think it's like they'll just like point?
I think realistically, I wouldn't be surprised if they do it like winner out of the blue. Like I don't even think Bruce Buffer, he might not even be in the ring. He might be talking from outside. Like
Yeah, Bruce,
Yeah.
I could see him
yeah,
being absent. So, because I feel like he being like an older guy too, he's probably one of the more at-risk people.
he's
Yeah.
gonna be there. He's gonna be there, and he's
Oh,
definitely
he
gonna be
is.
commentating. But I expect it to him not be in the ring the same. I mean, he may be. I
Yeah.
might be wrong, but they might do it
It
like
might be
okay,
at like a commentator's table or
yeah, like
something
his
like
own
that.
table, and he might introduce it from there. Because at the end of the day, he's not doing it for the fans that are watching live now. He's doing it for the people at home, so they hear. It's gonna be cool, dude. I'm gonna be honest.
And
I
what?
actually can't wait because this is gonna be crazy. Like, it's gonna be the
That'd be
coolest
perfect.
thing I've ever
It's
seen,
gonna be
man.
interesting, man. It's gonna be interesting for sure. See how they do it.
It's gonna be
They
sick.
did the
I
NFL
love it.
draft fully online too.
Yeah,
just-
I watched that. That was cool how they did that.
Crazy, man.
Dude,
The
everything
NFL
is
draft.
virtual. This is even a virtual thing.
Yeah.
This is all virtual, dude. It's crazy. Zoom, bro. That's it.
We're not more guys chilling in a room with mics in front of us anymore. Before
That's
guys
it.
Just talking about MMA, man. We
That's
just
it.
chilling. We vibing
That's-
out.
Dude,
it
and
goes.
now think about this. Let's just quickly glance over this. There's 3 fight cards in 8 days. Like, the UFC is like, okay, we're coming back and we're coming in hot. So
Yeah.
you got the first fight card, and then you got like a few days later. I don't know if it's on a Wednesday or a Thursday. Boom, another fight card, and then you got another fight card that weekend. So if you're a fight fan right now, bro, you're getting spoiled.
Yes, sir.
You got the greatest
Dude.
card of all time, like at least one
Yeah,
of, and then
for
you
real.
got fights. So for me,
Yeah.
I'm happy as hell, man.
Dude, Christmas came early this year.
Bro, it's better than Christmas, bro. Christmas don't compete with this, bro. It's like Christmas for adults right now.
Basically.
That's it. Well,
And when they get Fight Island open, they'll actually be able to have international fighters in there.
Oh, true,
So-
true.
they said
That'll be
that
exciting.
that's coming soon. So I'm excited to see how they do all that, bro. Because I heard the cage is gonna be on the beach, bro. That's what I heard.
Dude, that's
Yeah.
gonna be the sickest thing to show on TV.
Of all,
Oh my god.
it's gonna be insane, dude. It's gonna be off
Oh,
the chain.
dude, the
Insane.
background, you just see fucking sand in the background with a goddamn ocean. And you just see 2 people fighting to the
Yeah,
death.
right. It's gonna feel like
That's like some Street Fighter shit.
Street Fighter shit.
Yeah.
Insane, man. Well, we've been on here for a while. Do you
Oh
guys
my
think
God.
we should wrap it up, man?
There we go.
Yeah, I
Went
think we
through the
should.
card. It was a fantastic talk. A lot of cool predictions. We can't wait. I'm super excited, dude. Like I honestly cannot wait. Like right now, like I'm jumping up and down, man. Like I'm be honest, I just can't wait, dude. It's been too long without a fight, man. Too long without a fight.
Yeah.
Way too long.
Forever.
Facts. When I heard about the news, I was like literally screaming internally at work. I was like,
That's it. I'm hyped.
oh,
Well, the
I'm
UFC
excited.
returns May 9th. UFC 249. One of the sickest cards in history. This is The Cage MMA podcast featuring AJ and the Savages. Hope you guys enjoyed. We'll be back with many more. Peace out, guys. Signing off.
Yeah.